These are certain things that, again, I don't know, but I know that I just put a square not far from here, and then you walk on the trail and there's what appears to be a square. Again, it could have fallen. Like, this is like the most beautiful thing in the world to me right here. I love this. And I have to constantly tell them that, you know? And it's all connected. I left job, home, security, because I knew there was something bigger. And that's what's important to distinguish. If we really want to talk about a new species and we really want to talk about how they fit into our environment, what is it that they can do that we cannot to distinguish them from us, them not being us? I thought Sasquatch and Bigfoot, all of this was sort of like the jackalope is to a lot of people. You know, it was this big roadside event that people would, you know, you could go up to Northern California and you could see the Bigfoot carved in wood, you know, and you could stop there and buy candy. And that's really what I thought Bigfoot was about. It was the Pacific Northwest jackalope.
Yep.
And what happened is that I was watching a show, and there was a gentleman on there that said he would stake his 20-year career that based on the dermal ridges that he found on a cast, that there was an undisclosed non-human primate in North America. And something in me shifted. And I literally was the next day on the computer, like researching everything Bigfoot, everything Sasquatch. And I was buying a camper back then in 2007. And then back then things were camera equipment and these things were a lot more expensive. Like I already had some kind of idea that this being, whatever it would be kind of nocturnal. So I was Googling, you know, like night vision goggles. And then I saw that they were like $50,000. And I'm like, oh, you're not quite leaving yet. Like, oops, back up. This is a bigger project than I think. Look, the challenge with Sasquatch right now is that everybody seems to be looking for Sasquatch. And I don't think we need to look for them anymore. What we need to do is habituate. And lots of people have done this. There are a lot of people who have habituation sites that choose not to talk about it. And I, for whatever reason, and maybe I'll get down the road and I'll find out once I do this process that I may not want to talk about it for the same reasons that they are doing it. But right now I'm at the very beginning, and what I'm doing is called habituation. And habituation is being in an environment every single day where they're reported to be. And I'm very excited about that. And right now where I am, I'm only a mile and a half away from a report in the 70s where a logging company reported over 1,100 tracks, which is huge. I don't know why these, I'm not really sure why this evidence isn't taken into consideration. But I've had the experience. I've had the phenomena happen to me several times. I know that there's something that is non-disclosed in the forest. And so I'm here. I'm here right now. The first experience is when I did go with this gentleman. And I went to Montana. And he picked this location specifically because the gentleman whose area it had been previously was really concerned that whatever the activity he had been going on for years had stopped happening. And so he had reached out to this gentleman and asked for him to come out and see what he could find. And he couldn't find anything either. He didn't really have any experience, wasn't finding any evidences. And so when I say evidences, I mean things that are categorically or typically what people say are Sasquatch things, like tree breaks, wood knocks, tracks, different sorts of phenomena that you find in the woods, tree structures. These things that I'm saying really do look sort of like what gorillas do in Africa. You'll find bedding sites and those sorts of things. So I'm not talking about the phenomena at this point. I'm talking about physical evidences of that being or this creature. Anyway, neither of them could find anything. So the gentleman said to me, it was almost a test. He said, if you think you're that good of an animal person, and if you think you can come out here and have an experience, then come out here. Show me what you got. And so I was like, great, you know, and it was terrifying for me. Okay, so I chose this stump to start creating something that's unique and different that could stand out. And I have a suspicion that they do create these sorts of phenomena. I'm not really sure why, but I've seen things deep forest where stumps have been intricately woven, like almost like a shelter. Anyway, so I laid the sticks across on the top all the same direction, so that I can notice any differentiation. I also left a crystal neatly tucked away. I can't think of what kind of mineral this is, but it's really pretty, so I thought I would leave this. I tuck it away. The path is over there, so someone would have to come over here to look at it and to see it, so I feel like it's pretty well hidden. That if it's missing or gone, I'll know, and so that's kind of how I start off, is just doing something that I think they do, add to it a little bit, wait and see if something else happens, if I have a response.